Hello students, this is Lakshmi Deshpande. Hope you are doing very well. I hope you remember the extract from Shakespeare's Romeo and Juliet. Let us have a discussion of the question answers of the same extract. Please try to understand each and every line of the answer. It is very helpful for you from the exam point of view. Comprehension 2, first question. What similes does Romeo use to convey Juliet's beauty? Or this question can also be asked as Romeo's appreciation of Juliet's beauty is expressed through images. Explain. Romeo uses two similes to describe Juliet's extraordinary beauty. The first simile is deployed in the lines, "It seems she hangs upon the cheeks of night as a rich jewel in an Ethiop's ear." In these lines, the phrases cheek of night and Ethiop's ear apparently refer to the darkness of the night personified as an African or an Ethiopian lady. As we know, an African lady is black in complexion. Juliet stands out conspicuously amidst others in the dark night lit up by torches in the room. There is a stark contrast between the bright and shining complexion of Juliet and the dark night. The second simile is deployed in the lines, "So shows a snowy dove trooping with crows, as yonder lady over her fellows shows." In these lines, the comparison is between the snowy dove and crows. Obviously, Juliet is the snowy dove and the other ladies in the room are crows. Dove is the symbol of love and beauty. Crows have always been considered black and ugly. Naturally, for Romeo, Juliet is the personification of love and beauty. It also implies that the other ladies, including Rosaline, with whom he had fallen in love, appear ugly and gross to him. That is why he uses the phrase her fellows to describe them. These two similes highlight how enchanted Romeo is with her beauty. The second question: how, according to Juliet, would Romeo be immortalized? Or how does Juliet intend to make Romeo immortal? In her invocation speech to Night, Juliet invokes Night and along with Night, her Romeo also. To her, Romeo is the day in the night. It also implies that Romeo is her life, and so when the night falls, she imagines that he will come gliding upon the wings of night. In these lines, Night is personified as a raven, and Romeo is likened to new snow on a raven's back. Juliet favors the arrival of the night because it is in the night that Romeo has promised to come. That is why Juliet praises the night, calling it gentle night and loving black broad night. Love belongs to Juliet now that she is married, but she doesn't own it. And she can't own love until Romeo possesses her. Once she gets her Romeo, she does not fear death. Like all mortals, if she dies, Juliet begs fate to set him in heaven with the stars. His presence will make the face of heaven so beautiful that the world will fall in love with night. And the sun will no longer be worshipped. It also implies that their love will end in their tragic death because the enmity that exists between the two families. Consequently, the world will come to know about the tragic death of the two lovers, and thus Romeo will be immortalized. Coming to the third comprehension, the first question in third comprehension: comment on the contrasting imagery in the poem. What purpose does it serve in highlighting the intensity of love? Or this can also be asked as: both Romeo and Juliet employ contrasting images in their expression of appreciation and admiration for each other. Elaborate. Let us see what are the imageries used in the poem. The two stanzas in the poem, one by Romeo and other by Juliet, highlight the intensity of the young lovers. This intensity is brought out by using the contrasting imagery of night and day, black and white, bright jewel and a dark surface, snowy dove, etc. Factually speaking, the words bright and night appear in Romeo's praise of Juliet's brightness when he sees Juliet for the first time in the feast hosted by Lord Capulet. Romeo uses the phrase snowy dove to refer to and to distinguish Juliet from other ladies in the room. Romeo uses the word crows to refer to the other ladies in the room. Furthermore, Romeo compares Juliet's brightness with a rich jewel hanging upon the cheek of an Ethiop's ear. Romeo uses these words to highlight her beauty. It also symbolizes the emotional intensity that he shows towards Juliet. Similarly, Juliet uses the phrase day in night and whiter than new snow on a raven's back to refer to Romeo. Secondly, she uses the words stars in the night sky to refer to Romeo. Literally speaking, both the meetings between Romeo and Juliet take place at night. Secondly, their meeting has to be a closely guarded secret because of the enmity that exists between the two rival families, the Montagues and the Capulets. When Romeo goes to the Capulets' party, he goes in disguise at night. Similarly, he promises to meet Juliet in her chamber on the wedding night so as to not to be seen by anyone. That is why the word night symbolically stands for secrecy and caution that needs to be exercised in their love affair. Thus, the writer has used the word black and night to strengthen the emotional situation. Thematically speaking, the words day and night, black and white, night and raven are used to evoke the image of death, whereas white dove is a symbol of purity, peace, and love. A raven or a black crow is considered a bird of ill omen. Furthermore, when I shall die and cut him out in little stars and heaven are expressions that clearly refer to death and immortality. Thus, the writer is hinting that the secret love affair between the rivals will culminate in the tragic death of Romeo and Juliet. It can also be inferred that probably Juliet has a premonition of their impending death because of the fatal attraction between them and the enmity that exists between the two families. Thus, the contrasting imagery serves to highlight the intensity of their love. Second question in the third comprehension: between Romeo and Juliet, whose love do you think is more passionate and intense? It is clear from their expressions that of the two lovers, Juliet's love is more passionate and intense. It is well known that when Romeo goes to the Capulets' party, it is with the intention of seeing Rosaline and not Juliet. When he sees Juliet for the first time, his exclamations are of one who is overwhelmed by the sight of someone who is mesmerizingly beautiful and are not the yearnings of someone deeply in love. On the other hand, when Juliet gets to know Romeo after he had touched her hand and kissed her, Juliet comes to understand what it means to be in love and from then onwards starts feeling the pangs of love. Finally, she expresses her love firmly, asking Romeo to marry her. Her love for Romeo goes on increasing in intensity, and finally, in her invocation tonight, we find someone yearning to be possessed in love by her husband. She has a premonition of their tragic death, which finds expression in her request tonight to set up Romeo amidst the stars in heaven after death so that their love gets immortalized. It is also true that of the two, though Juliet is younger than Romeo, she is more mature and passionate in deciding to get married to Romeo. She accepts Romeo as her partner despite being fully aware of the enmity that exists between the two families. On the contrary, Romeo, though older than Juliet, is infatuated with Rosaline and is disappointed that she does not reciprocate his love. Only when he meets Juliet, who reciprocates his love, does he understand what it is to be really in love. Therefore, it can be concluded that it is Juliet who is more passionate and intense in love than Romeo. Thank you.